Hello, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode. I'm so glad you're here. We've got some great conversations lined up today that you won't want to miss. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right in. This is Emma, and you're tuned in to Daily Talk in English.
Hey, it's Ben here, and I'm pumped for today's episode. We're diving into something super fun and practical. Airport conversations. You know, like those everyday situations you face when you're traveling.
Exactly. And let's be real, traveling can get a little stressful, whether it's figuring out where the heck the check-in counter is or dealing with the security lines, there's always something.
Oh, for sure. But hey, that's why we're here today, right? We're going to help you sound like a pro while navigating the airport.
You bet. So let's start with something pretty common. Checking in at the airport. If you're flying international, things can get a little more tricky, but don't worry, we've got you covered.
Right. So you walk up to the counter and the agent's like, "Good morning. Can I see your passport and ticket?" And you're like, sure. But what do you say after that? How do you handle the next steps?
Ah, yes. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have everything ready, like your passport, boarding pass, and any other documents they might ask for. And if you're nervous, that's totally normal. But here's a trick. Just stay chill, keep eye contact, and you'll get through it in no time.
Yeah, I totally get it. And if the agent asks something like, "Do you have any checked luggage?" you can just say, "Yes, I've got one bag to check," or "No, just carry on." It's super simple. But if you want to get fancy, you can throw in a "Yes, I do," or "No, thank you, I'm traveling light." Adds a nice little touch, right?
Exactly. It's all about sounding natural. And after that, they'll ask you to step aside or tell you where to go next, right? If you're traveling internationally, they'll probably remind you to go to immigration right after check-in.
Oh man, immigration can be a pain, but it's got to be done. So you approach the counter, and the officer asks you all the usual questions. What's the purpose of your visit? How long will you be staying? Where are you staying? And the big one, can I see your return ticket?
For real. And it's all standard stuff. Just answer as clearly as possible. You can say things like, I'm here for vacation, or I'll be staying at a friend's place in city. And don't stress about the return ticket. They're just making sure you're not overstaying your welcome.
Right. And if you're traveling for work or business, they might ask, "Are you attending a conference or meeting?" Just be straightforward and honest. They're not trying to make it hard on you. They just want to keep track of who's coming in and out.
Exactly. And after immigration, you'll head to security. Now, I know security's a whole thing, but if you follow the rules, it's actually pretty quick and painless.
Yep, just make sure to take off your shoes, belt, and empty your pockets. Don't want to get caught with that stuff. And if you've got a laptop or tablet, put it in its own bin. You don't want to be that person who holds up the line, right?
Totally. And if you're traveling with liquids, don't forget the 311 rule 3.4 ounces or less in a quart size bag. It's the same old drill. But hey, it's one of those things that's good to be aware of before you get to the counter. Trust me, it makes a difference.
Yep, we've all been there. And while we're talking about lines, don't forget that TSA pre-check is a game changer if you've got it. You can breeze through security without the hassle. It's totally worth it for sure.
For sure. It's like the VIP access to the airport. You get to skip some of the more annoying parts and just focus on getting to your gate.
Exactly. Now, after you're through security, you can finally relax a bit. Grab a coffee, find your gate, and maybe do a little people watching. It's all part of the fun. But what if something goes wrong? Like, what if your flight's delayed?
Oh man, don't even get me started. But seriously, if that happens, don't freak out. Just head to the gate agent and politely ask for updates. Hi, I just wanted to check if there's any update on the flight to destination.
Oh, that's a good one. And if they're super busy, you can always ask, "Do you have an estimate for when the delay might end?" It helps keep things casual and avoid sounding panicked. All right, now that we've handled the basics, checking in, going through immigration, security, let's talk about what happens after you make it through all that madness and finally get to your gate.
Yeah, definitely. Once you've got your boarding pass in hand and your bags, hopefully, checked in, the last thing you want is to stress over which gate to go to. But don't worry, if you're unsure, all you have to do is check the airport monitors. They'll have the flight info displayed so you'll know exactly where you're headed.
That's right. And for anyone traveling at a bigger airport, here's a pro tip. Most airports have these super helpful little signs above the gates like flight to destination, boarding soon, or something like that. It's like a little visual reminder to let you know what's going down.
Oh yeah, I love those signs. But hey, for real, what if you get to the gate and find out the flight's been delayed? Again.
That's the worst. If that happens, the first thing you should do is stay cool. Don't panic. The best thing you can do is ask the gate agent for a heads up on how long the delay is. Just walk up to them and say, "Hey, I saw the delay. Do you know how long the wait might be?" They usually know the latest info and can ease your worries.
For sure. And remember, flight delays are no one's fault. It's all part of the travel game. But if you're stuck at the gate for a while, it's a great chance to relax, grab a snack, and like you said, people watch. You'll be amazed at the things you see.
Seriously, it's like an airport is its own little world. You see all kinds of travelers, families rushing to make their flights, business people in suits doing last-minute calls, and even people sleeping on the floor. It's wild.
I know. And speaking of food, I gotta mention this. Airport food doesn't have the best reputation. It's overpriced, and honestly, it's sometimes not that great. But hey, a quick sandwich or bag of chips can save you when you're hungry and stuck waiting for your flight.
Definitely. But if you're at an airport with some good restaurants, that's a win. I always go for something light though, maybe a salad or a sandwich. I can't deal with the heavy stuff before flying. I'll be honest, I just want to avoid being that person who falls asleep mid-flight with crumbs on their shirt.
Same. Let's be real. No one wants to be that person. But anyway, once it's time to board, that's when the real fun begins. You're already imagining your destination, maybe you're mentally planning what to do when you land, and then you hear, "Now boarding, rows 1 through 10.
Ah, yes. The boarding process. I know it's tempting to rush up when you hear your flight being called, but trust me, it's usually not necessary. Most airlines will call you by your row number, so just wait your turn and save yourself the hassle of standing in a long line.
And don't forget to have your boarding pass ready. They're going to scan it before you step on the plane, so make sure you've got it in hand. You can either have the printed version or the digital one, but make sure it's easily accessible so you're not scrambling when it's your turn.
That's a big one. And another little tip, keep your ID and boarding pass separate from your phone. It's way easier to pull them out when you're at the gate if they're not buried with your phone.
That's a solid tip. Also, when you're boarding, the gate agents will probably check your carry-on. If it's too big for the overhead bin, they might ask you to check it in. So if that happens, don't be shocked. They'll just take your bag right there at the gate, and you'll pick it up at the jet bridge when you land.
Right. And hey, if you're ever flying and the agent asks if you want to check your bag for free because they're running low on overhead space, just say yes. You don't want to be stuck holding onto your bag for the entire flight if you can avoid it.
For sure. Free checked bags, that's the dream. But okay, let's fast forward to the part everyone's waiting for, the actual flight.
Yes, it's time to get on the plane. So you make your way to your seat, and here's the thing. If you're flying long haul, you'll probably get a drink, snacks, and even a meal. But here's something to keep in mind. If you're the type who doesn't want to deal with the little tray table, or you're just a nervous flyer, don't hesitate to ask for help.
Exactly. Flight attendants are there to help. If you need something, whether it's an extra blanket or a drink refill, just ask. They're super chill and they're used to making passengers comfortable.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the seatbelt sign. When it's on, make sure you're buckled up, because turbulence can sneak up out of nowhere. But hey, even if it's a bumpy ride, just know that you're in safe hands.
All right, now that we're cruising through the flight, let's talk about something that always seems to come up: turbulence. It's that shaky, bumpy part of the ride that freaks out a lot of people. But for real, it's pretty normal. It's just the plane moving through different air currents.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little roller coaster in the sky. But if you're a nervous flyer, there are a few things you can do to stay calm. First off, take deep breaths. Focus on your breathing and remind yourself that it's totally normal. The pilots and crew are trained for this, so nothing to worry about.
Exactly. And if you feel extra uneasy, you can always distract yourself. Watch a movie, read a book, or play a game on your phone. Keeping your mind occupied is the best way to push through those bumps.
For sure. And hey, don't forget to hydrate. Airplanes can be really dry, so drinking water is key to staying comfortable. Plus, staying hydrated helps keep your energy up if you're planning on doing anything after you land.
Oh, yeah. I always make sure to have a bottle of water on hand. And when the flight attendants come by with snacks or drinks, don't be shy. Get something if you're feeling hungry or thirsty.
Definitely. But if you're flying overnight or on a long haul, you'll probably want to sleep a bit. It's a good idea to bring a neck pillow or something cozy, and maybe even a blanket if you can get one from the crew. A little sleep goes a long way in making you feel better when you land.
Right. And for the sleepers, I've got a pro tip. Try to avoid caffeine or anything too sugary before the flight. It'll mess with your ability to sleep and leave you feeling jittery when you really need to rest. Instead, go for some herbal tea or water.
That's a solid tip. And speaking of sleep, let's not forget about the time zone changes. If you're crossing multiple time zones, your body clock might get all out of whack. But don't stress. It's just your body adjusting. The trick is to try and stick to the destination's time zone, even if it means staying up or going to sleep a little earlier than usual.
Totally. It's all about adjusting to where you're going. But if you're super jet lagged, it's okay to take a nap when you land. Just don't nap for too long, or you'll mess with your sleep for the next night.
Oh yeah, I made that mistake once. I napped for 4 hours right when I landed, and I couldn't sleep at night. I was totally out of it the next day. So yeah, keep it short if you do nap.
Lesson learned. Now, let's talk about landing. You know that moment when you start descending and the captain comes on the intercom like, "We're preparing for landing." You're like, "Finally," but also your brain starts thinking about all the things you need to do next.
Right? Like, where's your passport? Do you have everything? Is your carry-on zipped up? All those little thoughts pop up right when you're about to land. But here's the deal. Take a deep breath and check your seat. Make sure you've got your essentials, passport, boarding pass, phone, and wallet right in front of you.
Exactly. And if you're traveling internationally, don't forget to fill out any customs forms. You'll probably be handed one before landing, so make sure to fill it out accurately. Trust me, it's way easier to do it while you're still in your seat rather than trying to rush through it once you're in the customs line.
Definitely. And speaking of customs, remember, you'll have to go through another passport check once you get off the plane. Don't rush it. Just follow the signs and wait your turn. And when you get to the officer, they'll ask you the usual questions like, what's the purpose of your trip or how long will you be staying? Again, just stay cool and answer truthfully.
For real. And for anyone who's stressing about it, don't. Immigration officers are just doing their job. They're not there to make things difficult. So just be calm, collected, and ready to answer questions. And when it's your turn, just hand over your passport and go through.
Yeah, exactly. After you get through customs, you're officially in the country. From there, it's all about picking up your luggage. You'll probably head to the baggage claim area, where you'll see a screen showing your flight number and which carousel your bags will come out of.
Yep. And if your luggage doesn't show up, don't panic. It might just be running a little late. But if it's taking too long, head over to the airline's baggage counter and let them know.
And once you grab your bag, you're home free. You've officially made it to your destination. Whether it's for business or pleasure, the hard part's over, and now the fun begins.
All right, we've covered everything from check-in to customs, and now you're ready to step out of the airport and on to your next adventure. But before we wrap things up, let's talk about the final step, how to make the most of your time after landing.
For sure. After you clear customs and pick up your bags, the next big thing is getting to your accommodation. Whether you're hopping into a cab, taking the shuttle, or using a ride-sharing app, it's good to have a plan for getting there. You don't want to be standing in the middle of the terminal trying to figure it out last minute.
Exactly. And for first-timers, A lot of airports now have ride-sharing areas, so you'll see signs for places like Uber and Lyft. It's a super convenient way to get around, especially if you're not familiar with the area.
And for those who like to keep things budget-friendly, don't forget about public transportation. Many airports have bus or metro stations right inside, and it's a great option if you're trying to save a few bucks. You just need to grab a map and check out your route.
Definitely, but whether you're in a cab or on a bus, the important thing is to sit back, relax, and soak in the moment. You've made it through all the airport chaos, and now you're headed to your next destination.
Yeah, and don't forget to take a deep breath and enjoy the ride. It's the first step in your trip, and you're almost there. Whether you're going to a big city or a cozy little town, there's always something exciting waiting for you.
Exactly. And if you're feeling overwhelmed at all, take a moment to remind yourself why you're there. Whether it's for a vacation, work, or family time, remember that the journey itself can be just as fulfilling as the destination.
Yeah, totally. And before we sign off, let's talk about staying connected. I know some people stress about their phone working in a different country, but it's easy to get a local SIM card or use an international plan for your phone. That way you can stay in touch with friends, family, and even find your way around town.
Good point. It's super helpful to have internet access when you land. But if you can't get a local SIM right away, many airports offer Wi-Fi for a few hours. Just make sure you're being safe about your passwords and using a VPN if you can.
Exactly. Stay connected, but stay secure. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable when you're out and about in a new place.
And that's it for today's episode. We've covered a lot, from check-in to customs, and now you're ready to step out of the airport and onto your next adventure. So if you're traveling soon, keep these tips in mind, and I promise you'll feel like a pro navigating the airport.
Absolutely. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought, or if you've got any other tips for surviving the airport. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, please. We love reading your comments. And if you found today's episode helpful, share it with a friend who might be heading to the airport soon. It's always great to spread the travel knowledge.
For sure. Thanks for hanging with us today. We'll be back with more awesome episodes soon, so stay tuned. Until then, safe travels and take care, folks.
That's a wrap. Bye, everyone.